Good morning, my dear ones. Again, I'm back with another topic, and this is as a part of a series of videos which talk about education as a cultural process or the cultural functions of education. Earlier, I gave an introduction to the topic education as a cultural process, and later I gave another presentation on culture and preservation or conservation of culture. Sorry, education and preservation or conservation of culture. In this video, I just want to bring before you another cultural function of education, that is nothing else but acculturation or cultural fusion or fusion of culture. We always talk difference between enculturation and acculturation. What is enculturation and what is acculturation? Enculturation is preservation of culture. That is, enculturation is the process of acquiring one's own culture. For example, I am an Indian and I am from Kerala and I am from a Muslim community. So I acquire the culture of my own community, my own locality, called Kannur, by observing the words, activities, rituals and customs performed by my parents and the people who are around me, and this is the process of enculturation, and it is done just for preservation of culture or conservation of culture. I have given a video on preservation of culture or conservation of culture. So enculturation is the process of acquiring one's own culture or the culture of one's own society or community by observing and imitating the activities of parents and the people who are living in that particular community. That is enculturation. Acculturation is the process of modifying the culture of a person or a society by accepting some virtues or some better elements or some beautiful elements of some other cultural entities. And this is fusion of culture. Fusion means combination of two things. A fusion of culture is a combination of two cultures, two cultural entities. So we are modifying our culture. We are not giving up the basic elements of our culture. We are not giving up the important elements of our culture. We are keeping our culture. At the same time, we accept some cultural aspects of some other societies, and this is acculturation, and this is a fusion of culture or cultural fusion. And education can bring cultural fusion. Education can bring acculturation. During the childhood days, we indulge in the process of enculturation because we only see our parents and community leaders or some people who are living around us or some people who are visiting our homes, and we always attend some marriage functions with our parents, maybe the marriage functions of our relatives, and most of the times people do not carry or bring the children to some marriage functions of friends and something like that. So we always observe the cultural elements of our society. So enculturation occurs at home. But when we reach school, we start knowing about different types of culture, because school is a place where you can see children from different cultural backgrounds, and unknowingly or unintentionally we start accepting the cultural elements of other students. Moreover, at educational institutions, we learn literature from different societies, literature from different countries. And literature is a mirror of a society. And when we learn literature from different countries or different societies, we start acquiring the culture of those societies. So we modify our culture at educational institutions. And when we start getting higher education, we may have to leave our home and we may have to reside at hostels. And at hostels, you can see students from different states or different countries. And when we stay together, there's a more possibility for getting the culture of others. And after the emergence of globalization, now we have got an opportunity for going abroad, for getting education at universities, in foreign universities. And there is a concept of living together also, how to learning to live together also, as one of the pillars of education according to UNESCO. So education can modify our culture without giving up our traditional culture. And we can make some changes if we feel that there is no logic behind some of our cultural aspects. So people think that there is no logic behind some of their cultural aspects, so they tend to change, they tend to have some changes. And acculturation or cultural fusion is not complete change in the culture of a particular society, but it is modification, accepting some cultural elements of some other societies. So there will be a combination of two cultures, or this is education and cultural fusion, or fusion of culture, or acculturation. Thank you.